Okay.
You what, Alex?
No.
Um, okay, hey everyone, welcome. So this is our Figure Friday week 44, as you can see by the screen that I'm sharing, that we're going to deal with a data set that is music based, right? The top 100 songs since 1958. Why 1958? I have no idea, but the person who put this together, let's see down here, Chris Dallariva. Um, he put this Google sheet together. He researched everything. He started from January 11th. Maybe that's when he could access the records. He wrote a book on it, and so this is a very interesting data set with a lot of information.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
we specifically used the this tab, the data tab right here, right, and certain columns of that data tab. So to access that information, all you have to go is here and first post, and then you can see it Billboard right here, the CSV. You can look at it raw and put it into incorporate it into your data app like that, or just click here and download. So we already have our data set here, and we have a few people that created apps so far. This was a pretty popular, it was a pretty
Mm-hmm.
interesting conversation that went around this data set. Here are some demo apps or figures created by Poly Studio. And then we
Beautiful.
have plenty of people, like 31 posts here that talked about the different things that they did. So I'm gonna I'm gonna write a message on Discord to see if anybody else would like to join us. But in the meantime, Mike Bertel also created this. In the meantime, here's Mike Bertel. Hey, Mike, how's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
Hello,
I
Mike.
didn't, I didn't submit anything this week, but I did enjoy the discussions with Alex and others, and the work was so good.
That's
So I'm
perfect.
glad I could join.
That's perfect. No, thank you, Mike, for joining us. Feel free to continue providing your comments or questions even during our live session right now. I saw the comment you made here. This was very helpful for Alex.
Mm-hmm.
And then Anne Marie talked about Dash Bantine and the carousel. All right, so let's start. Let's go with you, Alex. I'm going to share the app. 1 second.
Okay.
First of all, Alex, before you talk about the app, can you tell us what did you like the data set? What did you think about this data set?
Well, basically, it's a very wide data set with 105 columns, as
Yeah.
I remember. And basically, what I like it is all the ideas that you can, or the information that we can get from this data set. Initially, I like it to make an history story based on exactly the richness of this data set, based on decade. Some reason or another, then I decided to do this app. But basically, what I like it, the music, you have take different avenues. For instance, the musical group of musical. You
Yeah.
have the demographic by artists. You have for instance, a lot of binary columns that are very interesting to see exactly. It's an instrumental use in this record may have a different from people, but from Billboard or not. Also, these song artists are songwriter or not, the producer. I mean, many things, many things. I have spent this time. I have spent a lot of time
On this.
digging in.
Okay. Okay. And Mike, what did you the data set? Does this, like, when you look through some of the songs or the artists, does
Yeah.
this remind you of older times, like in the 90s or
Oh, I
80s?
grew up on this stuff, Adam. One thing I loved about this data set is that I grew up on all this, and I could compare like older artists like Aretha Franklin to newer artists. And Alex, I spent a half an hour on your dashboard, time I will never get back. But you made it so fun to play with. And to be honest with you, I did not even look at this data set. I mean, I've been very swamped, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
enjoyed working with what
What
Alex
did
and
you
others
do,
did.
Mike? What did you do when you searched this? Did you just like play around with the artist
Mhm.
selectors?
Yeah, there's the area where you can select up to 3 artists, and so I went through there to look and see, who's in there, and there are some omissions, but it looks like these are all artists that reached number one.
Yeah.
Um,
You too.
U2, yeah, U2 is a great example in there. So I love this music. I mean, it's so captivating to just go through and see, yeah, like comparing the Beatles to many groups who came on later. Adam, we did a data set about a year ago that was like the European top whatever.
Yeah.
The thing I remember about that data set, there's nothing wrong with it, but I knew like zero of the music on that.
Oh, okay.
And so you just have like data and numbers, and it doesn't really mean anything. But this is very compelling.
Cool. All right.
And I
You
mean, I
Alex?
think you guys will
Yeah.
agree with this, right? I mean, you listen to radio your whole life. I mean,
Yeah,
all these bands.
exactly.
I've met people who didn't know who the Beatles were in my life, by the way, but that's very rare happening.
Well, thank you, Mike, for your comments, helping Alex out, and actually looking into the app and playing around with it. That's the whole goal. So, Alex, tell us a little bit about this app. What was the thought process? Why did you decide to put this together like this?
Well, I decided to put this as basically because I like exactly, I like music. And also I like the different generation based. I don't know a huge fan of the Beatles, but I like Michael Jackson. I like Bruno Mars. I mean, then I decided, well, I'm going to do a single filter using the artist and also two chart to complement one to complement the another to see exactly how they comparing generation. The first thing, for instance,
Yeah.
if you look, huh?
No, keep going. I like
Sorry.
what you're showing, Alex.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Well, the first thing that I decided what is historical success week by 1 year. I decided here after several items to select number chart. First, I select a scatter plot, but the scatter plot I remember once that you Adam tell us it's very difficult to exactly to see the different in this case about the year. For instance, I have a in the car. I wanted to see the dominance exactly the period dominance of this artist. If you look at, for instance, the Beatles, their dominance was almost 10 years, and I would like to see exactly split how it looked like compared to another legends like Beyonce or like a Michael Jackson. That was the main reason. The second one, the other chart that was the can you exactly the bipolar. Well, first I did a bar chart, but bar chart for this well is more than the same. Well, I let do something that remind me of an CD style, for instance. Well, bar
Yeah.
chart. And I knew bar chart first time using, but I knew the bar chart because I like to play video games. And there is a video game called MLB, the show that they use for their characteristics. This type of chart with an overall average in the middle. So I did that John of Fate and use it. Let's see what happens.
The
Let's see what
polar
happens.
the polar bar chart.
The polar bar
So,
chart that I
Alex,
decided.
so for people who are watching us or watching the recording, and if somebody asked you when should I build a polar bar chart and when should I build a bar chart, what would you recommend?
Well, basically, the number one decision always is the bar chart because here you can use the bar chart to if you want to show exactly the difference. This is critical to see the difference among these characteristics. Happiness. What is the happiness compared against artists? What the danceability against artists? Clearly, because bar chart is not exactly. You can see the clear difference characteristics. This is the first selection to go. In this case, I did well. Honestly, what I wanted to do here, the difference is I am not making I am making an exploration instead of a deep analysis. So I want to decide to use it to exactly give them a style of CD or vinyl,
Okay.
basically.
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Basically.
So,
In fact, in the production formula here we select the artist. The second one to complement what the artist did. The first one is comparing week by week at number one, and the production formula. I select the musical characteristics as happiness, danceability, accutiveness, and energy. That are the basic characteristics. And loudness, I was making some research, and it's very interesting and it's very important. So I, in this case, I did some normalization because the number of loudness not coming that way.
why
So
did you have to do? Isn't loudness here like amount of decibels? Why did you have to do?
the amount of decibel, exactly.
So why did
Loudness
you have to
amount,
do like a normalization for that?
because the other metrics there are from 0 to 100. And
Oh,
decibel now from is a negative number. So
yeah.
in order to use it here in bar polar, I have to make some this type of change or
Okay.
modification.
Okay.
Then, well, as you can see here, more it's important. I didn't, for instance, I made a research. I didn't know about it that loudness is very important. For instance, if I say you are well, the why more major decibel, greater decibel, or my zero, may be louder. Say, I mean, for instance, if you talk about what is louder, well, for me, it's a heavy rock or heavy
Yeah.
metal.
Yeah.
But it's not the case for some. There is another connotation. There is
Okay. Okay.
okay,
Cool.
and then, huh?
And then go ahead, Alex.
And then, well, I did some to complement to finish to complement all this exploration dashboard. I did some statistics card that basically compare the three selection people or user made. In this case, Beatles, Beyonce, and Michael Jackson. The first one is the success statistics, basically total the number hit, and the total of times at number one. Uh, Imagine the Beatles 58, and then the average week as number one, the personal record at the number one, 9, in this case 10 with Beyonce, and the most successful hit, then the period of dominance. That is very interesting to see exactly what the period is they dominant. For instance, you can see the decade that the Beatles dominance, and then the Beyonce, and also Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
Michael Jackson is interesting because Michael Jackson was one song. This is Ben. That song with the Jackson 5, I don't remember, and then 1995.
Oh, that was Billie Jean.
Billie
Alex.
Jean, right?
Billie
Yeah.
Jean is the most famous, the most.
I think that- So,
uh-huh.
Alex, I again picky about these bands, but you probably have a separate entry, I'm guessing, for Jackson 5. So they have Michael Jackson. Pardon me?
See, there is one, but you have to
Jackson 5. Yeah, that is. Yeah, I mean that was his first band in the early '70s, and that was a huge hit-making machine. So
exactly.
in some cases, you're seeing the longevity of one band, but then you got like people like Michael Jackson. They have multiple projects going on, so
Exactly, featuring
But
some of Michael Jackson
you
and
know, so what hit was that?
exactly.
So what do we want to look
It,
at? Which song, Mike Harris? Do you want to look at a certain? You want to look at a certain artist here?
I want to, if you don't mind, am I unmuted? I think I am.
Well, we can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we
I was-
can hear you.
Yeah, I'm interested in this chart on the right, the Polaris chart, and I'm really thinking about it, and because I like my charts, I like my visualizations and things like that. I don't spend a lot of time with them. I'm just thinking that at the moment you've got that's 3 artists. Yeah, it's 3 artists, and you add more and more artists, you get more and more of the bars on this chart, and there's that, and they're all lined up next to each other. They're in the order that I guess alphabetical order. I think Michael Jackson, the Beatles. Yeah, it's in alphabetical order. So if I was looking at this chart, and I'm just trying to imagine how to interpret this chart straight off the bat, and I'm looking at the data here and thinking, okay, happiness. The Jackson 5 is the happiest, and things like that. And then I look at danceability, and it's Michael Jackson. So I'm comparing by looking at these individual points and things like this.
Because you're just looking at colors, right, Harris?
Right. And see, what I was thinking is I'm quite a fan of the radar chart. I don't see them a lot. I think the last time I saw them was like when my friend was playing Pro Evolution Soccer, and they compared player statistics. If these bars were technically not bars, and the lines on a radar chart, I think they call them a spider chart or a radar chart. I call it a radar chart, and then instead of them side by side, they're stacked on top of each other. The data points are stacked on top of each other. Take, for example, Leonard Cohen, for example, sad, slow sort of music. You could see that line, that little line that goes round the center would be quite low probably, because it's not very loud, not very danceability for Leonard Cohen. And then the other line for Michael Jackson would be a much bigger line going right round the chart. And you would get an understanding by looking straight at the chart and say, look, obviously Leonard Cohen is quieter, thingier, whatever, than Michael Jackson would be. And so that comparison is easier to make. With the bars, just like that radar chart, with the bars also being in order, each time alphabetical, because it's alphabetical,
absolutely,
you don't know who is actually the loudest on that, because you go left to right, and they're jumping around the place. So it looks like a beautiful chart. I like it. It's really pretty looking. I think it could be maybe tweaked a little bit to order it in from left to right on a bar chart, the lowest to the highest. So if you look at happiness, you know that in happiness, the least happy is a thing, and then the most happy. I think it's a cool chart. I want to play with that chart, to be honest. And but I think the lines or the radar thing would be possibly a better approach. But I think it looks super pretty. I really like it. I think that's cool what you've done with that.
Okay.
Probably.
Thank you, Matt, for your comment and for your recommendation. The first thing that is, I wonder if using radar or bar. Radar, as you say, is very used for exactly this type of video game or football player to measure defensive, offensive, some kind of thing. The problem here is that for me, for instance, if you select 3, you look at overlap. Some obviously you will see in this case when you have a big difference among, as you say, for instance, energy. I don't know, energy. The energy from this song is greater than this one. You can see that. But if you have number closer, one over the other is overlapping. So for what I wanted to show, I decided to do this exactly because it's not I am not doing some analytical. Well, it's analytical, it's an exploration, but it's exactly I wonder, and I decided to do. But your point is exactly valid, and also as I said, the style. I wanted to make a CD style. That's the reason why I made a hole in the middle to see exactly.
Yeah.
With radar, I don't know if with radar we can do that. I don't know. I don't remember.
No, I think it's a very pretty chart, and I think I'm sorry. I was going to say, I think it's a very pretty chart, and I find there's like 2 things for a successful dashboard. One is good expression of the numbers so people understand them. But the second thing that I found was really important as well was that people that look at it find it aesthetically pleasing at the same time and go, yeah, this is a pretty dashboard, and that would sell a lot of dashboards. I could throw the prettiest dashboard at the highest level of CEOs and things. They go, yeah, this is beautiful, and you're like, it's beautiful, but this and this. I think it's great, honestly. I like that. I want to play with this.
Thank you. No, your comment
Mike,
is.
you wanted to say something?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I had two things to point out about this dashboard. One is if I look at the slice between danceability and happiness, I can't tell if these interior parts are danceability or if they are happiness. So I suggested a quick fix on that would be just to put that as a hover value data.
Mhm.
So when I hover on this point, like you have R and theta showing, I'm guessing like in the consumer space, people don't really care about R and theta, but they would like to see, the name of the band. I mean, the name of the band is color coded. That's fine, but at least it should show me that, like, if I look at one of these bars, it should show me that it's happiness or danceability or energy or one of the five.
Because you're saying the gap here, Mike, is very small, and it could be confusing. Is this happiness or is this danceability? Is this happiness or is this acousticness?
Yeah, in between the lines. These red ones are right on the line, so you know that's happiness, danceability, right? The ones that are between the lines, you can't tell if it belongs to the category, the nearest counterclockwise category or the nearest clockwise category. I can't tell that from this.
I don't know if
Hover is a good way to patch that up.
Exactly. I agree with you, Mike. In fact, I
One
did
thing I was
the
looking at yesterday, Alex, I didn't succeed at it, but in a sense, these labels of happiness and acoustics, they are just tick labels on a graph. And I was trying to see if there's any API where you could say, don't put the tick label on the tick, put it between the ticks. And there's some graphs you can do that with, and that
maybe
there's ambiguity in certain cases like this one.
Okay. Alex, is there anything else you want to say about that, Alex?
Well, I did the exercise and I shared with the forum that recommendation using my recommendation. Put the line between each one, but I get confused. I will be honest, I get confused because if the bar of danceability were on the right or on the left, I was confused. I don't know, but it's an excellent point.
Now, Adam, to your point, and I hadn't thought of this, but I didn't notice before that there's a difference in the gap width. And now that I see that and analyze it, I'm assuming that all of the values between, like for happiness, it looks like it's the red one and then the blue one to the left and the green one to the right. And maybe the categories are separated by, larger gap means that you're going from danceability to happiness or happiness to acousticness.
That's why
I didn't pick up on that before, but my comment was I couldn't tell which of these categories every bar belonged to, but with the gap difference, that's a different story.
I think also Harris's comment was interesting. If it's possible, I can't remember if it's possible, Alex, with the polar bar chart, but like to instead of having you have it in the same order always blue, red, green, blue, red, green, blue, red, green, which is great because it's orderly. But potentially it would be even easier to understand if it was from high to low. Right, so here would be blue, green, red, and then the danceability would be red, blue, green, and so on and so on. So then it's easier to see who's the highest and who's the lowest.
Yeah, and I think
it's an excellent.
That's something. I don't know if you can do it with this visualization. Maybe you can. I don't know, but if it was a bar chart, it would be easy to do it that way, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think what's cool about it is that you've technically got 5 bar charts in this thing. That's really cool. One visualization, 5 bar charts, all ordered, and you're like, okay, what's the happiest? What's the danciest? What's the
Exactly.
There's one subtle point about this graph, by the way, is that compared to a bar chart, is that people really only care about the top of the bar. They don't care about the bottom of the bar. Yeah. So by having it this way, you've got a wider geometry at the top of the bar, which is really what matters, and nobody cares about So it's a better way to emphasize the information that matters and de-emphasizing the information that doesn't matter. Because like I said, with a bar, you just want to know how high it goes, right?
And to add to that, Mike, it's a good usage. What Alex did here, using the polar bar chart, it's a good usage of space. Because if he had to put this at the bar chart all one line, then it will probably be a wide graph with a lot of empty space on top. Here is using like 3-dimensional, all the space around to put.
It is very attractive. And bar charts can get unmanageable with too many categories and subcategories. So that's not always ideal. But Alex, you did a fantastic job. And
thank you.
You cost me about 30 minutes I didn't plan on spending on it. And I'm probably going to hack around with this over the weekend. It's just so much fun. And to me, a dashboard, I mean, this is not an industrial comment, but a dashboard, if it's not really like kind of fun to use and interesting, then it's not going to take up much of it. You did so fantastic. And so I solved the age-old debate, which is Beatles or Stones. People have been arguing about that for
wait, let's see, Beatles or the Stones?
Stones.
Could you throw in Pink Floyd, because that's one of my all-time favorites.
I love Pink Floyd too. Yeah.
or a bit of David Bowie. He's going to do pretty well, I'd hope.
Well,
he should do well.
Let's see between the three. Pink Floyd. Oh, I'm sorry, Harris. Not going well for Pink Floyd.
Well, here's the difference. Pink Floyd was not really a number one hit maker so much, right? What was their hit? Money? I don't know it would have been oh god, what's this? Wish You Were Here. Wish You Were Here. Well, what song do they have for Pink Floyd? Another Brick in the Wall.
Harris, did you listen to Another Brick in the Wall, or you skipped that song?
No. I've got the movie. I'm not a sad person like that, to be honest. It's.
We don't need no education.
Yes.
Yeah. And then we have the Rolling Stones.
But, I mean,
4 weeks.
Alex, again, at this point, this dashboard you made is so much fun and so interesting.
Thank you. That's the idea. That's the idea that I was looking for. Exactly.
What's so impressive about the Beatles is that they might have a fairly low average week rate, number one, if you put others in there, but it's for like 20 hits. 20 hits, an average week of like 3 weeks. Every hit was about, on average, 3 weeks on top of the Billboard. That's like, it's easier when you have one hit, right? But for 20 hits, it's like it's
amazing.
I think only Elvis might have gotten close to that. What did he have? Or maybe Elvis. He had 7 hits for 3-1.
I want to throw out a trump card here. What about David Bowie? Come on, he's got hits.
There you go.
Unless I'm just a really sad individual, I don't know. Come on, David.
No, David was good. He had beautiful hands as well. Okay, let's see.
Alex, one other thing. I didn't know if you would work on this, but what would make this dashboard a little bit better would be if this line chart on the left is a beautiful visualization. I really, really love it. It would be nice if you could have all of the number one hits superimposed along the same line, but then that gets into issues of how do you color code them. But like you take one number one hit from a group that had many of them, you're kind of not doing justice to them. And I mean, there's so many ways you can analyze musical success.
There are a lot of room to make improvement, a lot. But basically, well, as you say, exactly, I wanted to show this idea, and I like it. I as you say, I have fun.
I'm trying to guess. What's the number one song? Oh, Fame. David Bowie was Fame. And the thing about this, you'll notice that it's probably giving you, he has 2 number one hits. I'm guessing this is taking the later one, but maybe not. But and some artists did better work earlier, but they were recognized later. So would I say that Fame is the best song by David Bowie? Absolutely not.
No, you don't.
I'm more of a hunky dory Ziggy Stardust guy, right? But Fame was okay. It never really, got to me
Okay,
the
but
way.
it's interesting that you say because maybe with another metrics to compare
Yeah.
exactly which
Cool.
better song.
Okay, I want to move, Alex. Thank you so much for building this app and showing
Thank
it.
you.
I do want to give an
Thank
opportunity
you.
for to highlight the other community members who gave us apps and
course.
that were not here today. We have Marie Ann.
Marianne.
This is going to load on Pike Cafe, and then we have, I think, the last one,
Esther.
Esther. She published. Did Esther publish it? Yeah.
Yes.
I love the spline, how she shows the line chart.
Mm-hmm.
She shows a beautiful line chart here. Like the color, the black and yellow are a beautiful color combination. Really, yellow stands out on top of black. So Esther likes the heat map. She used this before. It is a very helpful graph, a chart. So she used it here again. We have all energy levels that we can filter by, or select. We can select a specific genre. So if we select a specific genre, let's say funk, which was David Bowie, according to Alice's here, was David Bowie soul. Well, according to the author. Well,
I'm not sure I agree with that, but
I know it's Chris Dollar, the author. He decided like who he kind of categorized.
Okay.
So it's obviously subjective. And so here we have where we have funk, we have energy, average energy by year. So average, so we have from 60 all the way to, which is for some reason in 85 it went down a little bit. And then we can see correlations between energy and danceability, 0.44, which is pretty high. It's almost like, 0. Happiness. Happiness and energy is pretty high here, 0.6. Danceability and happiness is high. Interesting. So this is great to like compare and do like correlations. What's BPM again? Beats per minute?
Beats per minute.
Okay. Average energy. We can see like funk has average energy of 57. I'm assuming, and danceability is 64. I'm assuming something like rock will have a lot more energy. Not 57, but 61. Well, not a lot more. Danceability is 60. Which one would you think is the most danceable off the top of your head?
I would say pop. Some pop, no?
61? So far, it's the most danceable.
I mean, you probably pick a disco or something.
Jazz? 74. I didn't expect that to be so.
No, maybe 2 points.
It's hard to dance to jazz unless you're really.
It is. Well, there's only two songs here, so
Exactly.
Filter the data.
Right. Rise from Herr Alper. Man, I remember that Herr Alper also is a man that may make some arrangement with people singing salsa. I remember. Herr Alper.
Well, this is another beautiful dashboard. I like this heat map because sometimes the heat maps have too many squares in them, and it's really hard to do anything. It's hard to process them for me, but this is like a 4x4 grid.
Yeah, you're right. It's not too information heavy.
I would probably lose the scale thing on the right because you already got the numbers. But
what would you lose? But you would get rid of what?
The color bar on the right of the that doesn't really give you any new information, really.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm just being picky, but still, it's a nice. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Okay, what do we have here? Reggae. Okay, let's look at. Thank you, Esther, for this dashboard.
Beautiful. I like it.
Let's look to Mary Ann. Now she had here something. I played around with this graph a lot because I could just change the x-axis and the y-axis to try to find some correlations. So like x-axis is overall rating and happiness. So is there a correlation between how Chris, the author, rated the songs and the happiness category? And it seems to be some some correlation there. I found a lot of correlation between danceability and energy. Like the more energy,
Mhm.
look how if I think Marianne would be helpful if we like put like a line in here to measure the correlation, because this seems like there's a strong correlation. The more energetic the song is,
Exactly.
the more danceable it is, or
Exactly.
the more people tend to dance to it. So it's kind of cool to see
The-
that. And then we have some summary cards here on top. All since 1958.
Really cool.
Loudness, I would assume loudness and energy might have. No, not necessarily. Length. Okay.
Oh, the Doobie Brothers. They're from my city, San Jose.
Who?
The Doobie Brothers.
Oh, they're from
The
yours.
Doobie Brother.
Let's see here.
Yeah.
How do I spell doobie?
DOO. That should. Yeah, there you go.
Doobie Brothers had 2 hits in the top 1. Blackwater.
I don't know.
Cool. Blackwater.
5 years dominance.
Uh-huh. All right. Cool. Well,
Cool.
this was for Figure Friday week 44. I just posted Figure Friday week 45 for anybody who's interested in looking into that for next week or this weekend. Let's see, 45, and it's going to be the NBA shots data set. I actually like this data set for its sports, and I know a few of you here love sports, so hard to take the weekend away from you. But that's a good data set because it's not only regular. The focus is on clutch shots, and I forgot what clutch was. I looked it up, and it's really winning shots, right? And then if it goes into a specification, if you go into the pudding and you go into a README, you'll see where's the README here? They talk about the incredible clutch shot. They talk about data from the clutch shot or qualifying clutches. What is it? What is a winning shot? So I thought, well, it's the last 3 seconds or the last 5 seconds. So no, according to the experts, the clutch shots, or at least in this data set, is something around like the last 5 minutes or so. Player clutch, where the defined clutch is the last 5 minutes of the game, right? Where the differential point is 5 or less. And then he goes into the article and talks about how, well, the other people here talk about, a 3-pointer when there's 3 minutes left or 4 minutes left. It's not the same as a 3-pointer when there's like 5 seconds left. But anyway, so this is a little bit more data than we necessarily about clutch shots. But just so you know that this is, where is it? This is a data set of clutch shots. Let's go into it. NBA. And we see the name of the person, there was FTA here. Was it FTA? Number of clutch free throws attempted and the number of percent of free throws attempted. So here, Sharif Abdul Rahim had free throws attempted, clutches, like in the last 5 minutes of the game, 69. This is a percentage, 81. Total clutch shots, 217. I guess this is throughout his career. And then percentage and so on and so on and so on. So pretty interesting data set, pretty good for Dash and data apps because this is all data. This is all numerical. And then what's BB read? Basketball reference ID. Okay. Anyway, so I put this data set in there, but if you want, if you go into the source, you can look at WNBA if you want.
WNBA.
Or you can look at shots, which is not, I guess it won't be the clutch, it'll be regular shots. Okay, so that's for Figure Friday 45 for next week. As I did last time, I'll try to go on Tuesday around noon and just play around with Poly Studio. Feel free to join me. Anybody here, anybody watching the recording, later on X, YouTube, or LinkedIn, feel free to join me on Tuesday. I'll last time there was a community member from YouTube. We went back and forth about what is the best chart for the music data set we had, and so it was kind of cool to learn it together. And so I'll try to do the same thing on Tuesday and practice some data visualization together. All right, everybody. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much. Even when
Thank you.
This is creating a Dash app takes time. Creating Plotly Studio takes less time, but still it takes time, and not everybody has the time. So I really appreciate that. Even if you don't make it, you come here, you join, you share your comments, your feedback, and you help each other learn. That's
It's really cool.
the spirit of the community. Way to go! So thank you.
I,
everyone.
I love seeing everybody get so much better. I mean, I joined at the beginning of this year, and so people getting better and better and better. I was like, wow! Each time I see it, Alex, that stuff is cool, man. It looks pretty. I'm like, everybody gets so much better. And with Plotly Studio, people are building things so quick. I'm way behind. Way behind. So
Yeah, great job, Alex. Though this is one of your
Thank you.
best. That's saying a lot, by the way, because you do really consistently good work.
Thank you.
All right, folks.
Have a nice weekend, guys.
You too.